In the book, you start looking into all sorts of variations of flight, gliding, and all sorts of some of the evolutional implications on that. What did you discover in writing this book?
I learned about how planes work, for example. I was always a bit vague about what keeps them in the air. I still don't really understand how they manage to carry enough fuel to keep themselves up in a great big airliner that can fly actually from here to Australia.
It's amazing.
Without stopping. To carry enough fuel to convey that fuel all the way, let alone all the passengers and goods and things that it can do as well, I find very difficult to understand. I mean, I understand the physics of it, but I didn't understand the economics of it. And I didn't really know about Bernoulli's principle and the fact that planes work in two different ways, the Newtonian and the Bernoulli way, so I learned that. And I learned about aerial plankton, lots of different things.
And you also learned that some things that we recreate with mechanics aren't recreated in nature. So there's no natural organisms that are lighter than air per se.
Yes, that's right. One of the ways, one of the chapters of the book is about lighter than air flight, balloons using either hot air or helium or hydrogen. I kind of try to speculate about, or try to wonder why it is that no animal has done that. Because the ingredients are there. I mean, there are organisms that produce hydrogen and methane, which is also lighter than air. And there are organisms that produce silk, and silk is good for making the envelope of a balloon. But no animals actually put them together. So there are plenty of animals that float about not exactly lighter than air, but where the surface area is so large compared to their volume and their weight. One of the points of physics is, as you know, that the smaller an object is, the larger is its surface area compared to its volume. So something like the fairy fly Tinker Bella, which is actually a wasp, we've got a picture of it in the book, flying through the eye of a needle. It's so small that it would hardly need to bother to fly, it just kind of float around, not because it's lighter than air, but because its surface area is so great that the slightest waft of breeze, the slightest upcurrent, will just lift it without any effort. Whereas if you're as big as a human, as big as Leonardo, your surface area is so tiny compared to your weight that's not a chance. You just plummet to the ground.
Right, it's very hard because it's kind of, it's like r squared versus r cubed, right?
Exactly,
yes. It's the surface area is a squared ratio, and the other one is a cubed ratio.
Exactly.
So it gets to a point where it's almost physically impossible to have flight at certain sizes.
Yes, that's right.
Did you find out what was the largest flying being? Was it a dinosaur?
Well, Quetzalcoatlus was a pterosaur, a sort of giant pterodactyl, which was the size of a small aircraft, the size of a Piper Cub or a Cessna. And it must have mostly glided. It probably tried to flap a bit, but it must have glided, I suppose, from high places. A giant pterosaur, a huge, great glider. And I suppose it probably took off from cliff tops and things. There is a suggestion that it might have punted itself into the air with using its elbows, and then it got into a thermal. But it probably made use of thermals like modern vultures and eagles do.
Hey, it's Brian Rose, founder of the DeFi Academy. I've told you my 4-week crypto bootcamp is amazing, but don't take my word for it. This is what my students are saying.
The DeFi Academy was an amazing experience for me. It took me totally out of my comfort zone.
In this course, I was challenged, I was held accountable, and pushed to do things that honestly weren't always easy.
It's been phenomenal, and I can't believe we're already up on our 4 weeks. It has flown by.
Going through this DeFi accelerator by far was one of the best courses I've taken.
You do this course, you really get into the nitty-gritty of the activities that will make you comfortable with decentralized finance.
Thank you so much to Brian and everyone at London Real and the DeFi Academy for even putting together an amazing course like this.
Anybody else that wants to do it, please sign up It is well worth the money.